jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
First in the building this Thursday. Big blunts and boxing on deck. You already know the GOAT has arrived. Salute to you. Big shout out to the hottest MFing chat in the game. A-side official. No negotiation. Chase money on deck. You know it to be true. Stick 'em boys, fishing and sports. Yes, sir. We are in the building once again on deck. Mid-afternoon, man, and we are a day closer to the weekend. You already know boxing don't stop. Annually, boxing will be talked about annually, y'all. That's why it's so much to talk about. You say, what WCS, you keep on, yeah, because you dudes keep on hitting me in the DMs with some crazy stuff, right? You just don't want to accept the fact about my analytics, and that's okay. That's okay, because I'm not here to convince you. You know what I'm saying? Long as you hear it, cool. That's where we at with it. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Salute, OG. How you feeling? Lil Flex Lewis on deck. What's good? Salute to you, brother. Justin Booker on deck. What it do? So let's get down to the reality of it. You see the thumbnail. I'm about to give you another gem. Get straight down to the point. It's been a lot of crazy info that's been pushed out here. Crazy narratives, bro. It just don't make any sense. This is just wild. It's just like people just talking up. And then, you know, it's good that Jermell Charlo is making his rounds like we talked about yesterday. Canelo is making his rounds. But, hey, it's Canelo. Now, you know, primarily who we want to hear from is Mel Charlo. I say that because, yeah, he's able to get the time slot to face Canelo Alvarez. But I always go back to this. His mindset wasn't where it's supposed to be for the position that he's trying to convince people of, just because he's locked in with an opportunity. Your mindset wasn't there already. Okay. So let me just leave Jermell Charlo there for a minute. All right. Because he got his own gym up there. That's what he be training with Juan Guzman. You know what I'm saying? I told you all that already. So let's get back down to the task at hand. The thumbnail. Bomac outcoaches James easily. Some apparent reason. You have these individuals that will talk so much each and every day about all these conspiracy theories. They would talk so much. I remember these same individuals, y'all, that was highlighting Bomac's size. He was talking about how much they think he eat. And you know, it was people that was hosting the panel that will allow this type of information and insults and derogatory comments to be condoned on their panel. And that, okay, we human. All right. Boxing is trash talking. Okay, whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? They was talking about the man's weight. They was just being disrespectful. You know, saying, you know, call the man all sorts of names, right? And they was continue to prove that they wasn't really focused on boxing. Derrick James said over and over again, you know, we got to keep focus. If Errol Spence say focus, he got to make sure he focus. But the ones who really wasn't focused was his fans. His fans are still not focused. You know, Derrick James have talked about it over and over again about focus like a fucking robot over and over again. But yet the fans aren't focused. So you have a community of people that's supposed to be old enough to assess right from wrong. They have grown outside the critical period of learning. They know if you touch a stove that is on, whether it's gas or electric, and let's just say it's gas, and they see the flames, y'all. They see the flames, but they still put their hand on it. They see the flames, y'all. They see the flames. They say, oh man, you know, that seems hot. That doesn't seem like it's healthy. Seems like it can do some damage. They will put their hand up there just to feel what it could possibly do, instead of just processing and say, no, that's not right. And that's what I get when it comes to what they overlook in this particular scenario, right? This scenario, you have a lot of individuals that continue to say, well, my main focus is pretty much to continue to point out that Bud Crawford did something he wasn't supposed to do. Not only that, they refused to mention Bomac in that equation. You see how that works? Like, they would talk about everything Bud Crawford was doing, or what they believe he was doing, what he was on, and everything else. But they won't mention Bomac, who said, I eat knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Well, Bomac said, you haven't went up against me nor my staff. They leave that out. They just want the focus to be, because they know Bomac was given thorough instructions. Like, you have those video clips out there that you can hear him clearly giving instructions and seeing it play out, right? You know what I'm saying? You can clearly hear that. If you don't remember, you know, it's out there. You know what I'm saying? It's not difficult to figure it out. Like, it's out there. If you want to see it again, here it goes.
Fucking slow for you. All right? You get a chance, counter that fucking jab over the fucking top. Sometimes turn that jab into a hook, all right? You don't have nothing left. You keep me to stay on the inside. Catch and counter.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory though, right? Right? That's pretty self-explanatory, right? Is it not? Was he not giving instructions because they refused to like give him credit for anything? What about this audio right here? This is people who I have countless of audio clips, right? But you know, they came back after witnessing how easy Bud made it. Listen to this right here.
And plus,
go ahead.
And you said people counted him before, but the difference is like they had a punching power of Terrence Crawford. I feel like the punches was affecting him, and that's why he stopped throwing the jab, because he was getting punished.
He stopped throwing a jab because he was getting punished. That's a good statement. It's not a reality statement, because he stopped throwing a jab in the second round.
Yeah, he got dropped in the second round.
He stopped throwing the jab in the second round, bro. Terrence Crawford wasn't throwing anything when Errol Spence got dropped. Terrence Crawford threw a one, and then he hit him right here, right here, and dropped.
He said Terrence Crawford wasn't throwing anything when Errol got dropped, and then turn around and tell you what Terrence Crawford threw. You feel me? Like you have these individuals out here that just makes you like try to process it all together. How can one man influence all these people to be so delusional? How can one man do that? How can one man, yo, influence all these people to be delusional and not do their homework? Y'all tell me that. How is this possible for somebody who has convinced these guys prior to that he wasn't that guy? You know what I'm saying? He wasn't that guy. Isn't it? He wasn't that guy, right? Listen, Terrence Crawford, he said Terrence Crawford is nothing that was taken away. You know, nobody did nothing to take away Errol Spence's jab. So Errol Spence was in there with his shadow. And he says Terrence Crawford was doing nothing. He was throwing nothing when Errol Spence got dropped. So automatically I'm thinking, okay, cardiac arrest. You know, cardiac arrest happened. You know what I'm saying? I can't make this up. Cardiac arrest happened. But this is where I'm digging. This is where the shovel starts to uncover, you know, what they tried to bury. They don't want you to know this. The same way that Derrick James lost it and underestimating Bomac is the same way the aerosexuals lose it. He wasn't throwing them, but this is why they're in denial.
Ring IQ. Well, I would challenge and say Terrence Crawford is stupid. I would say Errol Spence is way smart. And I'm not hating on Terrence Crawford by calling him fucking stupid. I'm not hating. Bro, if you're fucking dumb, then you're dumb. That's not my fault. That's your fault. That is Terrence Crawford's fault for being fucking stupid. If you have all of these skills, why don't you use it? If you have every skill set, you can move, you can punch, you can do this. Why is the only thing you do is use dog and punch? Why is that all you do? The dog, the dog. I got to out-dog him. I'm going to show you that dog. Okay. All right. Well, what if a bigger dog comes in the yard? Then what? If a bigger dog comes in the yard, are you going to run? Are you going to run around the yard, Terrence Crawford? When a bigger dog comes in the ring and you realize that you cannot out-dog Errol Spence, are you going to then start running? Are people going to say that you're running? Are they going to call you a runner now because you're not fighting Errol Spence the way you fought everybody else? Now you're moving around the ring and Errol Spence is having to chase you and cut the ring off? Is that what's going to happen? Because you didn't do that for nobody else. Everybody else, you went straight at him with the dog.
I love that clip. Shout out to BF for talking out his ass again. I love that clip. You know what I'm saying? I know when I originally heard it, I said, let me keep this for later days. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so reminiscent of how these aerosexuals sit up here and they'll talk all that shit prior to, right? But then when reality strikes, they do not want to give credit. They want to say, I don't care. You should care because you always out here talking all that nonsense, hating on the man, literally hating. You did not want to give any credit. You still don't want to give any credit. And you get mad at people, you know, that is up there trying to hold a decent conversation with you. But getting back to the task at hand, because I got to continue to kick this hot grease, right? And within that hot grease, you know, hold on. You have certain talking points that you have to reveal over and over again, just to drive it home. You know what I'm saying? That these individuals were more so looking at Terrence Crawford like he was dumb, stupid. He couldn't fight. Lace up your gloves and box. Take whatever they give you. Don't try to sit up here and do anything more than what you're supposed to. Be the dumb black nigga that they want you to be. You know what I'm saying? BF knows about that because you called me a N-word with the ER on it. So he really despises of certain alpha black men. You know what I'm saying? He despises someone like Bud. He feels like what Bud did in calling out some other content creators is where he wanted to be. So he just felt like, let me call him dumb, he's stupid, he don't use all his skills. Well, let me ask you this. What happened on fight night? Was he running? Was Bud Crawford running? You know what I'm saying? Or was he right there in front of Spence? You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the reality of this thumbnail. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge it. They keep on using poor, lame, you know what I'm saying, piss-driven freaking narratives, right? Because they pissed off. They're pouting. They're being adult babies about it. It make you think, right? When is it ever going to come to a head where they're going to be mature about it? We use the N word, mature. When are they going to be mature about all the content that's being created, especially from WCS? When are they going to be mature about this? Huh? When? When are they going to be mature about this shit, man? When is BF and Fanon and all the rest of the channels going to be mature about this and identifying the real reason? One of the real reasons that Errol Spence lost July 29th and that he will lose again whenever the future date is announced. When are they going to mature as supposedly boxing fans who's been close to the sport? When are they going to stop blaming certain situations that is not considered illegal? The only person I know recently to pop dirty was Alicia Baumgartner. You know what I'm saying? She's considered a dirty fighter right now until she's proven innocent. Yes, that's a fact. In that statement, I didn't hear anything about a Terrence Crawford. Both of these fighters that's in your picture right now, it's pretty much two undisputed boxers that's under the SNAC program, SNAC, two of them. You have to your left, current reigning defending welterweight, undisputed world champion Terrence Bud Crawford. Current reigning defendant to your right, current reigning defending lightweight, undisputed world champion, and Devin the Dream Haney. Those are two undisputed. See, Victor Conte is not going to get any credit, you know, for freaking having all these champions under his charge on the SNAC program. You know what I'm saying? He had Terrence Crawford on the SNAC program prior to the undisputed birth. You know what I'm saying? The second time around. I'm just saying now, Victor Conte is not going to get any credit like the thumbnail that I had. You know what I'm saying? This thumbnail up here. He's not going to get the credit, y'all. He's not going to get the credit like these coaches supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Victor Conte's contribution, we'll never know what it is. We don't know what the supplements these cats are taking, but it's been approved for this guy to operate in a boxing setting, and he has two undisputed fighters on the SNAC program. They look healthy to me. When you know, Vada revealed that a fighter tested dirty, it wasn't none of these guys right here. It wasn't the black guys. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the black guys. Seriously. It wasn't these two brothers. Seriously. So when they tie Terrence Crawford to the SNAC, when they tie him to Glovegate, when they tie them to multiple scandals, it's only showing where the chromosomes failed them. You know what I'm saying? The chromosomes failed them. What's supposed to be X, Y is X and another, you know, X half, you know, it's a little bit confusion in there. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on with hormone levels because you have no other way except to understand that he was beat fair and square. Nothing that you said before, WCS has got to repeat it. Nothing you said before, during, and after changed the results. So now you talk about the results. Not only are you talking about results, but you're talking about them in a way as if you're not comprehending. You were saying the same thing before the fight, but now that you've seen it play out in front of your shocked pupils, you're unwilling to recognize what you've seen. So you want to say something else on top of what you said before, but in all reality, none of it is going to change what is already registered. Nothing. Let's help people understand. Look at the title. The number one reason Spence lost and will lose in the rematch. We have heard so much. Let's listen to Bernie Boxer before this, back in the day. Look, let's listen to what Bernie the Boxer had to say on the Boxing Voice, because it's imperative that you know that there was so much being said. There was people that was switching sides. They thought Errol Spence was going to do this, that, and the other, and seeing a different type of outlook. You know what I'm saying? We saw a different type of download, so to speak. He was downloaded. Spence was downloaded on July 29th, and he was put in the recycle bin. He was downloaded, you know what I'm saying? And he was put in the recycle bin. Let's listen to this by Bernie the Boxer.
Steven Nelson before Steven got hurt.
You know why? They were zero. Andrew Rozier, and I said it on my show. They made zero adjustments. Not one fucking adjustments have Berlanga got better. Man, get the fuck out of here. Man, get the fuck out of here. Man, get the fuck out of here. Now, what y'all want to do? Y'all want to bring me on the show? Get the fuck out of here.
Of course, I've been trying to bring you on the show.
Coach. Your boy told me he was going to... Listen, hold on. Now, listen, I don't want to say it like that, but the fella called me. He said they was going to fly me out and he wanted to bring me on the show, but they got this Mr. Dude over there. That boy don't know shit about no boxing. He a dick rider. That man don't know shit about no boxing. And then like I say this too. The people they say they fed, the man said, what about his accomplishments? That's all right to some nigga. You ain't never. I'm not. I mean neither. I haven't went over. But I'm saying to say that a person that accomplished what Blood accomplished, to say that is nothing, man, get the fuck out. Earl Spence has not yet to even go up in it. Pernell Whitaker was the welterweight champion. He moved up and won the junior middleweight championship. Earl Spence has yet to do anything of note of anything like now. I'm not saying he ain't good. I ain't saying he ain't fighting.
Anything of note? You out here wilding right now.
Man, coach.
Bruh, unifying a division and beating 3 champions for them belts, how the fuck is that nothing?
Okay, now listen. Hold on. Now then again, you got to dissect them champions. Who you guys beat?
Pacquiao.
All right?
Pacquiao and Omar Figueroa, and arguably Sean Porter. People.
Who is Figueroa? Who is Omar Figueroa?
Arguably.
I will have to say straight out. You know what I'm saying? People was reaching. You know what I'm saying? Not Bernie, but you adding Figueroa in there and all that. I mean, come on now. You know, like you're adding names in there. You know, this was going on, right? This was the active battlefield of boxing debates prior to the fight. Bernie's on here defending. You know, he's on the Boxing Voice, and shout out to both of them. You know, the Boxing Voice and Bernie. But they was having a boxing debate with the energy that it's supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? And it was just amazing how certain people was looking at the accomplishments of Spence, and Bernie was telling them, what have he did to note? What have you did to note besides unify the division? If you really peel it back, man, like they say, peel back the onion. I mean, it'll make you cry, especially the ones who's going to look back at this 2 or 3 years from now and be like, man, it's really a lot it's really easy to break down what Errol Spence did. He fought a Kell Brook off a loss. He fought Sean Porter, who lost to the guy who Errol Spence picked up his first title from, right? He squeaked out a split decision against Sean Porter, right? Then he goes over here and off a long layoff, and he blasts Ugas. They give him this tag as being the eye collector. He blasts Ugas off a long layoff. Now, he's been considered to be this unified king. He did all the heavy lifting. All he has to do is go ahead and get this one title from a guy who has an embryonic freaking boxing career, who he never really fought any type of competition that was equal to greater than him. That's what it is in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? His entire resume is considered to be undeveloped fetus. They was acting like his freaking resume was fetus orientated. You had guys on there that haven't grown into nothing special. They wasn't old enough to fend for themselves. They were still on the development stages. That's what we was talking about. That's what we had to defend against. And that's what we still doing, but not in a manner for what you think. You know what I'm saying? We're not putting in the energy like the pro Spence fans. We don't have to, because Crawford, you know, he won July 29th.
Sean Porter.
Okay. Now, he did fight a good fight with Sean Porter, but we destroyed Sean Porter. It wasn't even close.
It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same Porter, and you know it.
Oh my God.
Tank told us that.
God.
Tank told us that.
Oh,
he said, "Go ask Porter what happened." Tank.
See how people switching up, but who was at the parade? Who was at the parade? Okay, I digress.
Tank.
Right before the
Tank had him in sparring.
right before the Crawford fight.
So listen to this. So
His own team said he wasn't even training.
Okay. Now listen. Now, what sense do that make?
It don't make no sense.
Now look, hold on. Because they said that, you believe that?
I don't necessarily believe it.
Wait, hold on. You rather believe that than to give Bud his credit. What kind of?
I never said that.
You know we give him his credit.
I never said that. I'm telling you the arguments. Those is arguments that's out there.
Okay. Now listen, because it's always gonna be an argument to hate against Bud. Now so I'm gonna break that argument down. Like I said, Sean Porter live a vegan lifestyle, right? You ain't never seen Sean Porter drink, right?
Never.
Sean Porter ain't never been in no scandal, have you, right?
Nope.
Sean Porter comes in every time in shape, never looks drained, never looks weak, ever, do you?
True.
Exactly. He's coming off a victory.
Year layoff.
Not a hard victory. He's coming off of a victory with Familia, a 12-round stay busy fight. He's living like
Year layoff.
Come on. And now wait. Then he says, okay, even after the fact, or I think before, I'm fighting my hardest opponent. And you mean to tell me that a seasoned professional champion like Sean Porter would not get prepared for arguably his toughest fight?
Bernie,
Get the fuck out of here.
we're just telling you.
You think his dad would let them go through with that? Okay, now if he did, then you know that they ain't what they say he is. They sell out to their home. So every way you put it, it don't make no sense.
Bernie, we're just telling you, we're not discrediting Crawford in any way, nor can you go back to that episode that you claimed you saw, or you got what we was discrediting Crawford. Now, what we just told you, or what Ness just said, is what his trainers have told us here on the show. We're just telling you what his trainers told us regarding that camp here on the show.
And just to correct you, Sean was out the ring for nearly a year after Formella.
And so was Bud.
I know,
And
but you phrased it as if he was coming off a win. You're like, oh, he was coming off a win. Nah, he was coming off a nice little layoff. But listen,
and so was Bud.
but this
And so was Bud.
that's neither
All right,
here.
so was Bud.
That's neither here.
So was Bud. So was Bud.
Good work. Bernie put in that work on that debate. He said, so was Bud, because that seems to be, you know, one of the sticking points on what they was talking about leading up to this fight, the layoff. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to play the game, right? They wanted to play the game. He had a longer layoff going in there with Ugas, and then he steps in with Crawford, right? They wanted to play the game. They forget that they was bragging so heavy. He had a 16-month layoff, I believe, when he stepped in there with Ugas. And they was bragging like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? They was bragging to the high heavens. I say this over and over again because it means it's a very valid point. It's an extremely valid point. They was bragging so tough with what he did to Ugas. This man, I was swollen shut for days, weeks. And they was bragging about that damage, bragging about the same people. You know what I'm saying? The aerosexuals, the pro Spence fans bragging about it. Look what he did. They was showing Ugas all on his. Look, that man is breaking ribs and taking eyes, breaking ribs, taking eyes, breaking ribs, taking eyes, breaking ribs, taking eyes, breaking ribs, taking eyes. They was goddamn bragging like a mother with this. I mean, they couldn't stop, y'all. They had some evidence to talk about after the accident to kind of build up their confidence. What did I say to them aerosexuals? They're insecure. They're not sure. They just talking, right? But they was busy bragging about the damage that Ugas received. They wasn't giving a damn about that guy. They wasn't saying anything about Errol Spence gloves being loaded, right? And don't worry about it. I'm gonna get to the thumbnail. Just hear me out now. I'm just pushing some content. They wasn't bragging. Look, they wasn't talking about rather loaded gloves with Errol Spence. Who eye has he swelled up like that, shut like Eric Morales? Who eye? Who eye has he swelled up like that, Oscar Valdez? Who has he done that prior to Ugas? Was it Chris Algieri? Was it Lamont Peterson? You know what I'm saying? Who eye? So we're talking about one-off, right? So they take a one-off with Errol Spence, and they run it all through social media, bragging, tap dancing, running through the streets, yelling, screaming, waving the flag with a happy face on it. Yeah, he fucked Ugas up. He gonna fuck Crawford up. This man is breaking ribs and taking eyes. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's all you heard. Ooh, 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 ooh. He gonna fuck Crawford up. He gonna fuck Crawford. Man, what Crawford gonna do? Errol's just too strong, too strong. Man, he's just too strong. The pressure. What is Crawford gonna do with that pressure? He's a slow starter. What is he gonna do? That pressure, the pressure, the pressure. It was all about Spence, man. It was all about Spence. And what he did to Ugas, and it was going to be transferable over to Crawford. Knowing that if we ever was to put them side by side and say, do you consider Ugas to be a better fighter than Crawford? The majority decision would say, no, we don't consider Ugas to be a better fighter than Crawford. But when it came to Spence picking up the WBA title, it seems like retardation set in. It seems like the retardation set in. Emoted retardation. These hardcore boxing fans was looking at Errol Spence like, he can beat everybody on Crawford's resume. And Crawford is his resume, right? They said Spence can beat everybody on his resume. So therefore, since they considered everybody on on Crawford's resume to be nobodies, trash can, tomatoes, you know what I'm saying, ragu, they considered them to be very saucy, right? So you would think that the host of that resume, Bud Crawford, you would think that they would say, well, Bud, you know, he's been the champion in this division and that division right there, and then he's been champion. And no, they was looking at everything he's accomplished to be trash, tomato cans, recycle bin, don't matter. Look, these people was blinded, yo. They was all about the retarded factor of boxing media. They was out there like, nah, man, it's no way, man. Spence, you saw what he did to Ugas. He saw it. And I'm thinking to myself, no, you can't be thinking just because he did that to a fighter like Ugas and you don't consider Ugas to be better than Crawford. How are you analytically placing yourself in an area of confidence, in a moment of confidence, right? That this is all going to play out that way in the ring. Why are you doing that? Are you truly believing that you didn't see any good in Crawford? Like your fighter Spence can walk forward, take punishment, get hit in the head, keep his head on center, and you overlook that shit. Like it's just going to go away when he steps in the ring with Crawford, who his trainer, his coach, right? Bomac has never been on record saying he don't watch film. Never, ever. L-sexuals, you have to ask yourself when you listen to what I gotta say. You have to ask yourself this: did you hold yourself accountable for taking Terrence Crawford for granted? Were you too selfish? Because I'm gonna say you were. I could say you continue to still be that way. Because I listen, I don't know. Look, it's audio that I haven't even played because I'm not trying to give some of you niggas headstones. You know what I'm saying? It's not the right time to play the audio. You gotta disseminate it properly, time released. You know what I'm saying? You gotta time release this shit over time. Just when they thought it's over with. Look, we in July. The fight is not gonna happen this year. So you got to have time release freaking clips or listen to people talk and talk and talk. Y'all were up here saying that is nothing on his resume, nothing that boxer could do to convince you that the man who broke Uga's eye will lose to Crawford. Because Crawford has nothing but TKOs on his record, and that don't mean shit. That's what y'all said, bro. Aerosexuals. I'm trying to be slightly, you know what I'm saying? I'm communicating with you from a mentor aspect. I need to mentor y'all niggas, right? I'm looking at it from that. Maybe y'all had a lot going on. Maybe you all was hanging out in the freaking shit too long, right? Maybe y'all were, and y'all was just overlooking the entire aspect of Omaha, Nebraska B&B boxing. Maybe you was just overlooking the shit. This man stopped all his opponents, and you say, "Oh man, that shit don't mean nothing." TKOs, they don't mean shit. That's TKOs. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. But one thing that's been left out of the equation that I keep on emphasizing. I keep on injecting it, and I'm talking about I'm using a nice size syringe too. I keep on injecting it. I did before the fight, I did during the fight, I did after this bitch. I keep injecting it out here in the media. You want to know what that is? The reality that media keeps hush hush, that they don't want to talk about because it seems more of a hospitality to speak about. No, not hospitality. I would say more so of a commonality. You know what I'm saying? To stick within the format. To talk about the fighters. Do you realize that all the energy and excitement that you got from Ugas being beat up, that when Bud went in there and didn't run, he never ran, period. He did not run. He stayed close. To hear people attempt to act like they never really seen what played out in the ring, it's weird. It's very retarded. And it deals with mental health is not, retardation is not mental health, right? But in this aspect, both of them together, I see it in their behavior. Because listen to me, they don't want to give Bud credit for what played out in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Adversely for Spence. But yet and still, they're mad and angry about what exactly played out in the ring to Errol Spence Jr. They don't want to identify it when it comes to Bud Crawford being the delegator of what the punishment, the brutality, the violence, the chaos that we seen play out. They want to ignore that, but they want to talk about what was the why that happened to Spence. Why did it happen? Why? Oh, residual neurological damage. That's why. Okay. He looked sleepy walking to the ring. Oh, that's why. That's why it played out the way it did. He's part of the SNAC program. Wow, yeah, that's why. That's why it happened, right? Loaded gloves. Derrick James felt the gloves. At that time, he could have had his Billy Collins Sr. moment and asked the commission to confiscate the gloves. Did he do it? No. Oh, that's why, right? The list keeps going on and on. Oh, he was out of the ring for 15 months. That's why. That's why. He was hit behind the head. Oh, that's why. That's why. That's why he lost. Errol Spence Errol Spence didn't have his balance. He got hit behind the head. His equilibrium was gone. That's why. You know what I'm saying? That's why he lost. Oh, Bud Crawford never took away the jab. Errol Spence just stopped throwing it. That's why he lost. That's why. Look, it's so many excuses that's coming out. But I know the number one reason as to why Errol Spence lost, and he's going to lose again in the rematch. Easy. Because we have this point of reference in the military. Oh my God, he's talking about the military. We have a point of reference in the military. It starts from the top. You know what I'm saying? It starts from the top. That's who's held accountable, the top. That's why you see these commanders and these senior enlisted being relieved of duties when something on their watch happened. And they should have known about it. The number one reason that I mentioned prior to this fight ever happening, I said that Derrick James is incapable of outcoaching Bomac. He's incapable of outthinking Bud Crawford. Don't you think those two at wishbone right there is solid? Don't you think so? I mean, look, don't think just because I have this amount of people in there that it doesn't travel far and further than what it reaching with this amount of people. It does. Believe me. I have people tell me it does. So listen to me. Do you remember I said Derrick James is incapable of outcoaching Bomac and incapable of outthinking Bud Crawford? Because listen, a trainer can outthink a fighter if they do enough film study and get familiar with that fighter. See, the number one reason that he will lose in the rematch, it starts from the top with Derrick James. You can talk all your talk. I don't really mind it. I don't, because I know that those little rematches that Charlo had with Tony Harrison and Brian Castano, I don't consider them to be a Terrence Crawford, to be honest with you. I don't consider them that. I don't frame them in any way, shape, or form. But what I do know, hold on for a second. What I do know is that it has to be a collective effort to beat Team Crawford. It has to be a collective effort, not just any effort, but you know, you have to sit down and you have to have a moment of patience. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a moment of solace just to let it all soak in, right? You have to have some order, some peace and order. You have to have a moment of solace. So everybody's mind is relaxed and everything. You have to have a moment of relaxation at the table. You have to sit down. Now we have to look at the fight. When I say we, that means individuals outside of Derrick James and Errol Spence. Errol Spence cannot be in the room with Derrick James by himself looking at film. He needs to be in there with not another fighter. No Frank Martin, no Anthony Joshua, no Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo, he's not the right mind to do this. You have to have at least two other sets of eyes, which makes a total of four eyes outside of Derrick James and Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? For a total of 16 eyes, right? You know, and make sure if you want to make it 18, tell Spence to put on his fucking glasses now. You know what I'm saying? That'll make a total, you know what I'm saying? If you want to talk about, you know, add two more eyes, tell him to put on the focus now, like focals that he had at the press conference. But peep this out. He needs to have some individuals on there that he respects enough from what they accomplished Real talk. He need to have a moment with some other coaches that may not be on the team, but he respect enough to bring them into the camp and have a sit down. I know Derek's listening, and you know I'm telling the truth. Derek James needs 2 more sets of eyes, and also Spence need to have another set of eyes, which putting on his glasses, and y'all need to analyze that film, because there's no way that Derek James will be able to come up with a rebound session, a counteractive, counterproductive, tactical plan to go in there and beat Team Crawford. It's not going to happen, y'all. I don't care how many scenarios you come up with. I laugh. You know what I'm saying? I laugh at that. You know what I'm saying? I put my chin up in the air. You know what I'm saying? I be up there, put my chin up in the air, fucking around with my ego. I say, man, we ain't got nothing to worry about, dog. Long as that nigga in the camp, we don't have nothing to worry about. I be fucking with my ego, man. I be fucking with pushing my ego around. Nigga, what you doing, man? God damn, nigga. You feeling yourself, nigga. God damn. You arrogant ass. You know what I'm saying? We having a conversation. Like, damn, nigga, you up here acting like you pushed the gloves on. I just feel like it ain't gonna be nothing. You know what I'm saying? No, man, calm your ass down. Stay humble. Humble yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Humble yourself, nigga. You getting out of hand. I know he won, but humble yourself. All right, ego. All right, you right. Humble yourself, nigga. Listen. I look at this entire situation, man. I frame it many ways than 10. James say he's been with the man 15 years. The man's been competing in the welterweight division for the longest of time, only to get up to that point where the biggest fight of your life, you say that wasn't the Spence that you were accustomed to. Every other fight that was supposed to be a big fight, he was ready for. He goes into the backyard of Kell Brook, he's ready for. He goes over there to California, he's ready for freaking Porter. You know what I'm saying? He fights in his hometown, he's ready for Ugas. Oh man, look at that. Yeah, man, you did your thing. Mouthpiece and all. You beat his ass. You fucked up his eye. Oh my God. Man, I'm hearing people say the accident, man, he ain't show no signs of the residual. Man, he's back. The nigga with the shag is back. The booty dude, he's back. I'm hearing them brag on this nigga. He took Ugas' ribs, his eyes, ribs. They got them going back and forth. Ugas, where you at? Your eye bleed. He's sitting on his ass recovering. Errol Spence fucked that boy up. Now Crawford goes in there in Vegas. Spence up. Obviously, Team Spence is being outcoached. They're being outworked, outperformed, outpunched, outthought. It's a lot of out that's going on. And his consciousness too. His consciousness is down there out the door, because Crawford is putting some heat on him, and due to the good how you put it, due to him being a good spirited pugilist, he got respect for Spence. You feel me? He does. He had respect for Spence, even though they was talking their shit. He said he'd take his belt off and all that. You know, he talked about certain things he did after the fight, call him up and see if he was okay and all that. But the truth be told, I don't think Spence feel the same way. And definitely looking at this thumbnail, I think Derek James do not like Bomac any day of the week. You know, the fucked up thing, another thing that I mentioned, you know, was that I did a live on when he lost to Joe Lipsy. Even though I was calling the fight in 6, I made a comment, something to the extent that, you know, we better hope Spence don't get stopped in 9 like Joe Lipsy stopped you. You know what I'm saying? I told Dear James, you better hope Spence don't get stopped in round 9 like you did, because I was comparing it to the fight being in Vegas. That fight was in Vegas. Now that was when freaking Big George fought Michael Moore, right? And I was talking shit to Diddy James. I say, you better hope you don't get stopped in round 9, because that's the same round Joe Lipsy stopped you in on Vegas. Now, even though it wasn't a championship fight like that, you got to look at it that way. Now, I was just talking some shit, and sure enough, he got stopped in round 9. But that was just a little tidbit. Getting back to the topic. Media refuses to put the coach on the carpet. They refuse to put him at a position of attention, hold him accountable. They refuse it. They know. They're looking at, just look at it this way. How are you going to say, okay, Derrick James, he received the award for Trainer of the Year, right? Whatever the title of the award is, Coach of the Year, Trainer of the Year, right? And I talked about this previously, how when you receive awards like this, you're not considered the average coach, right? So you all are looking at him as being an award recipient. But yeah, Terrence Crawford is an award recipient too. He was a recipient of multiple championships previously, stepping in the ring with Errol Spence, right? So you all, when I heard that the pro Spence fan out here, you was accrediting Derrick James as receiving that award, and you know, him having 2 unified champions in his stable and all that. You was bigging him up. You know what I'm saying? You was giving him all the plaudits in the world, while in the same breath, you was ignoring, you was jealous in the fact that what Bud Crawford has accomplished in his career. You was just brushing it off like it was trash, like it was lint. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't care. And then you was highlighting everything that Errol Spence has done up to this point, knowing that it was flaws within that. You knew it was flaws. You will always say that Errol Spence can be everybody on freaking Terrence Crawford resume, but you really didn't want to play ping pong the right way and say, well, Crawford can return the favor also. But you wasn't hearing that because he hasn't fought Sean Porter, and you know, he hasn't fought a common opponent on Errol Spence's resume. So we got that out the way. Then you say his dad stopped the fight. It wasn't enough. So then now we head into the July 29th with you all, the aerosexuals and pro Spence fanatics. You all are sitting up here believing that, hey, nothing you can convince me that Errol Spence loses this fight. Because why? Because Sean Porter was a shell of himself. He was on his way out the door for retirement. And Kell Brook was the same way. He was never the same after fighting Errol Spence, because Errol Spence damaged his eye. So Errol Spence had 2 fighters with damaged eyes that you bragged about. You bragged about Kell Brook and you bragged about freaking Yordenis Ugas. 2 fighters that you bragged about. You bragged about the damage that was inflicted on these fighters. You aerosexuals, you bragged about this shit. You loved it. You bragged. You talked so much shit about 2 fighters that he fucked up their eye. You bragged about it. You loved it. You loved it, man. You talked about it so comfortably. But then on July 29th, your fighter's eyes swell up. The coaching that took place in that night. Ooh. The training that took place prior to that, the fight camps. Have you ever seen a more piercing jab? Oh my God. I'm talking about, dude. They talk about what they haven't seen Crawford do, but really, they're not really talking about what they haven't seen Crawford do. They refuse to talk about how strict and authoritative that jab was, how that jab bullied the presence of Errol Spence. It bullying. You know what I'm saying? How can all of a sudden the praise that we was used to hearing leading up to this fight, right? It was so much praise on Errol Spence's jab, jab, jab. Why didn't his coach take Crawford serious enough? Because it seems like Team Crawford took Team Spence serious, because y'all talking about his jab, jab, jab. This man comes in here with the goddamn bazooka jab. It seems like this man was goddamn working over and over and over on form, technique. Man, when he threw that jab, that shit was like taking a pool stick and holding it up eye level to somebody and just kept on just pushing it forward. Like, you know you ain't gonna miss. Bow. You just hit him in the head with it. Bow. I'm not talking about the front of the pool stick. I'm talking about the back of that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You just sliding it forward. Boom, popping them in the head. It seemed like he had remediated that jab. Isn't that what y'all said Errol Spence was strong at? Like you said, this dude had the best jab. His jab. How you gonna get past the jab? How? H-O-W, how? And then when you seen the fight play out, and Bud Crawford's jab was dominating. He was bullying, man. He was bullying Spence, bro. You know what I'm saying? Crawford's jab was bullying Spence. Bullying. What'd they say? Well, Errol Spence, he just stopped throwing. Isn't that what happens when you are in a predicament where your opponent disrupts your rhythm? Isn't it known for Errol Spence to be in rhythm, being able to throw his jab and have his way with his opponents? Isn't that a rhythm? Then Terrence Crawford disrupt his rhythm and have Errol Spence thinking like, damn, this nigga fucking me up with the jab. Wasn't the jab a contributor, a donor? Wasn't that jab a donor? A punishment to Errol Spence's face? Wasn't it? Look, Bud Crawford was making donations with that jab. Charitable. Look, Bud Crawford was donating, making charitable donations to Errol Spence's face with that jab. Am I lying? Yo, am I lying? Was he not voluntarily donating charitable donations to Errol Spence's face? Now, how all of a sudden it becomes cheating when you're all up here praising Kell Brook and your Dinas Ugas for being fucked up with their eyes, but yet Errol Spence, a fighter that you wasn't even talking about, you barely even talked about. You was busy talking. You was being brash, disrespectful, vile, and talking shit about Crawford all the way up to the fight. And it did absolutely nothing to influence the outcome. What you did was continue to fuel. So you contributed to the ass whooping too. So what kind of fans are y'all? You contributed to the ass whooping. Crawford said he took all that and used it as motivation. So therefore, all the trash you was talking, it only fueled him when he said that was the hardest fight camp he ever had. He had the hardest fight camp for a fighter who only been in one division the entire time. Crawford never took Errol Spence for granted like Team Spence took Crawford for granted. Yes, sir. Absolutely, yes, sir. They took that man for granted. But the equalizer, Bomac, that is number one. While Derrick James will have issues in the rematch. I can listen to 1,000 freaking excuses. I can listen to these aerosexuals whine, moan, and complain. I can listen to them come up with all these theories. It would never change the results of July 29th. And that's amazing grace, boy. Amazing grace. How? You know what I'm saying? When you hear amazing grace, bro, you just want to lean side to side. You just want to start swaying back and forth. You know what I'm saying? You just want to, Hmm. 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 It just want to make you get into the humming spirit, because you need to understand, and the WCS is letting you know right away. Errol Spence can go hide. He can go off to Dubai. He can train on the helo pad every freaking day at high elevation. God damn it. He can sneak over here to freaking Colorado and train over there to increase his cardio. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to fight night, if it goes down in 2024, I am absolutely confident heading into that fight, knowing that there's aerosexuals out here peeking out the closet with the lights off, and they're biting their motherfucking knuckles all the way down to the white meat. You know what I'm saying? I know heading into that fight that Derrick James will not be able to outcoach Bomac. Not only that, I will always believe that Terrence Crawford is a much more lethal, dangerous fighter than Errol Spence. Look, I said lethal and dangerous. Both of these fighters are dogs, but one of these fighters are silverback. One of these fighters have goddamn Wolverine, honey badger tendencies. When Crawford talks about fighting, when he gets to fight, I totally believe. Let's just say a fight break out in round, let's say 7, right? Let's just say round 7. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt in prognosticating this shit. Let's just say Errol Spence come in better. There's no knockdowns. You know what I'm saying? We're in round 7. And it's a very, it's a very competitive fight. And it turns into a dog fight. I will go on record again as saying Errol Spence don't have what it takes to break Bud Crawford in a dog fight from round 7 all the way to round 12. He don't have it. He don't have it. Maybe look, he don't got it. We seen him in the dog fight with Sean Porter, and Sean Porter, that was before the accident. Real talk. I mean, you're gonna make excuses all fucking day. But Sean Porter, he was in a dog fight with Sean Porter. What happened? If he wouldn't have got the knockdown, that's it. Look, it's over. I don't like to use those two words because it seems like, well, why are you talking about it? You believe it's over. Why? Because I can. You know what I'm saying? And then there's a rematch. So there's been a 14-day letter sent out to Spence that he has to respond for the rematch. Spence may not even take the rematch, to be honest. He may not even take this rematch. So we're just talking to pretty much keep faith. To be honest, like I said about, when Crawford said he don't need Spence for his career, I totally agreed. So in the reality of it, right? I can say this, Derrick James, I'm not worried about him coming back with a game plan. He ain't got it. He ain't him. He ain't him, bro. James can get pissed and mad all he want. Listen to what I say. But dude, your mindset as a fighter is your mindset as a trainer. You like doing things your way, and that's how it reflected in your boxing career. When you was knocked down against Joe Lipsy, the commentator was making light of it and say that's the slowest knockdown I ever seen because you was sliding down the ropes. You end up being stopped in the 9th round in Vegas. Errol Spence being was stopped in the 9th round in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, you're sitting here believing that you don't need nobody else's help. Just because it's a one-on-one sport doesn't mean 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of eyes isn't warranted. You have so many boxers boxing trainers rather, that's there in Texas, that you can hit them up and say, hey, can y'all give me some insight? Can y'all meet up at this place right there so we can look at some film? You don't have it in you. So when I see people like that, I say, cool, I like that. Because I know you cannot beat Bomac. You can't outcoach Bomac by yourself. So if you refuse to bring on an extra set of ears and eyes so they can listen to what you're saying, and so they can visually look at the information, look at the footage, and give you their input too, right? If you refuse to have any one of them, then with that said, okay, cool, you brought them, but do you respect who you brought on deck, right? And not only that, do you feel internally that the information you received that you may not know, that you will feel kind enough to let your ego down and use that to teach Errol Spence? If someone tells you that, hey, this is something he needs to change for the rematch with Bud Crawford, the jab is there. Why are we talking about the fucking jab? He still hasn't lost the jab. Errol Spence still has the jab. We're not going to work on something that's already evident. He has the jab, man. He remediated the jab forever and a day. But it's levels, just like mixed martial arts. You know, just when you thought everything had just evolved, it continues to evolve per the fighting style. It's always a different way on how to basically execute a technique, when to execute a technique. So the jab for Spence is not going to leave. His dog-nacious mentality is not going to leave. You know what I'm saying? But you have to allow him to have a different approach. APP Roach. Okay? Approach. He needs a different approach. He needs a different approach to Terrence Crawford. He needs an absolutely totally different approach. If Derrick James isn't open-minded enough to take these next few months and come in with a different approach to make this fight competitive, to keep Spence a bit more healthier than he was, because by the second round, nigga was looking crazy. But you always got to remember, Bomac is over there in the corner. Esau is over there in the corner. You have some individuals that obviously listen to one another. You have stations. You have human stations. What I mean by that, when Crawford finished one station, he can go to the next station and the next station, and then come back to the other station for a different type of exercise, and then go to the second station for a different type of damn training, and then go to the third station for another different type of training. He's constantly have people to be refreshed so he can continue to test himself. Not only is Crawford testing himself, but it allows that individual, that human being, in between stations to get that recovery, to get that rest. So when it comes time for Crawford standing in front of him, Bernie the boxer, all of them are energized enough to go the amount of time they're supposed to go and give maximum. I'm talking about maximum participation. You're not going to get that with Derrick James. He's up here talking about everybody get their 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? He's saying everybody get their 2 hours, y'all. Everybody get their 2 hours, bro. Somebody help me understand this shit. One of these people going to find out that no matter what they say on the YTC, when you pull up that box rec, it's going to show you 40-0. It ain't shit you can do about it. It ain't shit you can do about it. Let me get to this chat right quick. It ain't shit you can do about it, man. It ain't shit you can do about it. You know when R. Kelly said when a woman's scorned, when a woman's fed up, it said when a woman's fed up, it ain't nothing you can do about it. It ain't nothing you can do about that freaking result, bro. Real talk. WJ Luckett on that. Salute W says, buckle up, Spence fans. Y'all gonna keep getting this work for the next 5 years. We're gonna give them the work. And look, why do they think they'll hit me in the DM on some wine and shit, right? All along, they don't know I'm on the phone with Huggies. I'm trying to get some sponsorship from Huggies to help these niggas stop crying in my motherfucking DM. I really want to accommodate them. You know, some of these niggas spend too much time showing me attention, and I'm thinking they're not even changing out their draws. So I'm trying to get some adult Huggies sponsored, you know what I'm saying, with some baby wipes to help these whining ass motherfuckers out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Coach back in the building, man. Boxing, man, it's good to hear. Blessings to your coach. You know what I'm saying? Glad everything turned out great, man. God is good. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? For those of you that was sitting up there trying to creep while coach was gone into his 3 o'clock spot, he's back. You thought you was slick. They was trying to creep in at 3 o'clock. Oh, anybody over here? Anybody? All right, good. Hurry up, man. Hurry up. Push that. Go live. Hurry up. He ain't here. We're gonna try to goddamn steal coach's freaking his freaking subscribers. Let's go. We can do it. Nobody give Bomac credit to make a master plan. Listen, good point there, Miguel. Bomac outcoaches James easily. Long as Derrick James is in the camp of Errol Spence, I have absolutely when I talk about no doubt that Spence will lose the rematch just as bad as he lost the first. The one who is in control of that is Team Crawford. Yes, Crawford will be in the ring, but as you seen earlier, Crawford was listening to his corner. I don't know what the hell was going on over there in Team Spence's corner. I don't find them to have a connection that's respectful enough for him to go in there and listen and then go in there and apply. I didn't see application. I didn't see him applying. And I didn't take the instructions that Derrick James was given to Spence to be enough. You know what I'm saying? To be enough, bro. I just didn't, man. I just did. Real talk. It's no way that you're gonna outcoach Team Crawford. It's not gonna happen. So I sit back and I will listen to it, some of it, and I filter out what I want. Whatever I choose to keep, I filter and I archive, and then I put the rest in the garbage, man. I wash it down the drain, flush that bitch down the toilet. You know what I'm saying? I just do away with it. I totally disconnect myself from it and keep what I want. But what I do have in the archives is the understanding that Bomac definitely is a better coach than Derrick James. When I think it's like I say all the time, it's profound what he told Derrick right off the rip. They're holding down the same positions, two champions. You know what I'm saying? 2 champions. He told him no more hiding. Who says that? Why did you say what you said? Where did that come from? What's the reason behind you said no more hiding? Why did Bomac believe that Derrick James was hiding? Why didn't Derrick James respond with, what you talking about? I'm hiding. I'm right here. You know what fighters I got in my stable? You know what they've come. That's would have been more along the lines with what I would have respected more when trash talking. But he started talking about what he was eating and shit. And they should make a super heavyweight division. No. You should have came back with the work. We want to hear you trash talk the work. You just came off stage from receiving an ESPY, bro, and you're talking about what they should do with a fighter that's not even active. He's a trainer, a champion trainer, right? You busy up there talking about what division they should make. You busy want to be a stand-up comedian. So I have to ask you this: Are you trying to be a comedian? Or are you trying to be a trainer? Are you trying to go in there and win the fight, or you just want people to hear what you were saying? You know what I'm saying? While you was trash talking, which really is never going to be a scorecard for that. It's never going to be a scorecard for trash talking at the press conference now. You know what I'm saying? No matter how many people in the audience, it wasn't a scorecard for that. They didn't assign judges for that shit. They didn't. Bomac said, I can bump my gums and you can bump your gums. At the end of the day, the fighters got to get in there and fight. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's what has to happen. And that's why I feel the way I feel. I don't, my pulse don't change, my blood pressure don't rise, none of that shit. Like I'm looking at this, right? I'm saying, no matter what you say, what you want to be reality, it's not going to change the results in July. It's not. Shout out to Toby Bartlett. Salute WCS in the chat, man. We're global, baby. We're global. You already know. Still frying and educating strays. Yes, sir. They have to be attended to. They have to be attended to, Toby. It's no option. It's mandatory. You have to attend to the aerosexuals and the strays and all the collective group that choose to come over here to my DMs and my chat. You feel me? PBC version of Wolverine is what they said. Unbreakable. They can't do it, y'all. Look at the message I'm sending in this thumbnail. Now, come on, man. Don't sleep on it, man. Don't sleep on it, man. Y'all hit the like button. Look at the message I'm sending. Man, y'all don't think how I be capturing these moments. This is simple shit on social media, bro. I don't need all the Photoshop. I can tell a story without most of the time photoshopping anything. Look at that. Look how Derrick James looking at Bomac, y'all. Y'all remember the other thumbnail I did with the way Derrick James was looking at Spence in disgust, right? Somebody who was looking at their fighter like that is not connected to their fighter the way they should be. You don't look at them like that in a moment of adversity. Look at Derrick James looking at Bomac. Bomac's thinking about the rematch and how and what plan they're gonna have. Look, Team Crawford was already training for you all. They was already studying freaking Spence. They was studying him. They didn't wait to 2023 to start studying y'all ass, man. They've been studying you. Look how Derrick James looking at him, bro. Look at that shit. Look. This is real life shit, man. Look at it. Look at the look he got on his face, man. He don't like Bomac. Look at it. He don't like him. He didn't go over there and give that man thanks and say, damn, Bomac up here on some honor system. Hey, man, it'd be an honor to the coach across from him. Hey, Derrick James, what do you have to say about, Brian Bomac, McIntyre, Bomac, saying that it'll be an honor to coach across from you. I ain't worried about none of these say, man. I ain't worried about him. At the end of the day, it's about me. I'm competing with me and da-da-da. And Scotty, I had a conversation with Scotty, right? And I was like, hey, Scotty, what you feel about that, bro? We've been doing this for a while. And he was telling me some shit like, as long as he's not worrying about, he's in competition with nobody except himself, I will continue to put high dollar bill on a matchup that includes Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, knowing that he is in competition with himself, that he believes that. It's okay with me, brother. It is okay with me. This is too easy, man. It's too easy. It's too freaking easy. Ain't no on that. What up, bro? What's good with it? Bud didn't stop EJ. Harvey Dot did. Technically, Bud was the initiator of the stoppage. He was the initiator. In order for Harvey Doc to deem it an unsafe environment, unhealthy for Spence to continue on, he had to find out the source. You know what I'm saying? The source was Terrence Crawford. He was the influencer that convinced Harvey Doc that Errol Spence could no longer continue in a healthy state. So he had to step in as the esteemed referee he is and stop the show. But look, that goes down as a TKO victory. And now I know for a fact these aerosexuals understand how to separate the adjective and the noun. I'm serious now. They know. I've spoken on it several times. You can't come back on here with that dumb shit no more. Oh man, he only had TKOs. A fighter can be in a more fucked up situation in a TKO stoppage than they can a KO, because they can get dropped or whatever and not be unconscious, but they can be unable to continue. It's considered a knockout. But when the referee steps in to stop the fight against the fighter's will, who is semi-conscious or maybe unconscious and trying to get up, and he or she can no longer continue, a technical stoppage still is a knockout. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Donating a jab to Errol's face. That's what I'm saying, Toby. You know what I'm saying? Team Crawford is all about donations, charitable donations. You're talking about him donating his knowledge and assessment to Crawford. And Crawford going out here in the community, which is the Four Corner Square, and handing it off, handing those donations. You know what I'm saying? Bomac volunteered the information, and Crawford went out here and donated it. He donated. But getting back to the realization of this, right? When Crawford was beating up Spence, I didn't hear all that jubilee. I didn't hear all that enchantment. As a black man in life, it didn't take me to pick up a Malcolm X book. You know what I'm saying? Pick up a book and try to help me understand what I just witnessed between two black men, right? No, I can figure this out on my own now. I'm saying, bro, he beat that man up, and then his fans go out here and cry, oh, he wasn't the same Spence. No, think about Kell Brook and Ugas. Errol Spence wasn't the same. Something wasn't just right. He was high. It was loaded gloves. He was on SNAC. He was on that. What does the result say? And can we both agree that Terrence Crawford showed you one of the best masterclass clinics that you've witnessed for a fight of that magnitude in recent years? Oh my God. So you have to give him credit. One thing that Julo said, right? aka BF, he was saying that Errol Spence was throwing looping shots. He just stopped throwing the jab. But yet, he refuses to accredit Crawford for basically being the opponent. You have to, and also what BF you refuse to do is to blame Derrick James for him throwing those looping shots, because why was he throwing looping shots, so to speak? Why was he throwing looping shots? And how are you going to say, oh, well, he got hit in the neck? Stop it. You're lying. Let's go back there one more time. Let's revisit, because you was talking mad shit before. Let's revisit, because that's what it's for. Let's just revisit for just one more time.
Too fucking slow for you. All right? You get a chance, counter that fucking jab over the fucking top. Sometimes turn that jab into a hook, all right? You don't have nothing left. You keep me to stay on the inside. Catch and counter.
Seems like a lot of headshots to me. They want to talk about he was hit behind the ear, he was hit in the neck, and look, you know how I do with this shit, right? Analytics is there for your accessibility. So you have guys like him that's saying he was hit in the neck and all that shit, right? But his face was fucked up. So which one is it? Was he hitting him in the neck and behind the head, or was he fucking him up and hitting him with headshots that was accurate and punctual? Y'all not making no fucking sense, man. Y'all not making any sense. Y'all say the man getting hit in the neck. You try to say it's behind the head. He was doing some rabbit punches, but his face was fucked up. So where's the majority of the punches landing? Please, somebody grab a red marker and put up a thumbnail and circle where are the areas of contact per watching the fight over again. Please give us a step-by-step replay, because his face was fucked up. But y'all say now that he was getting hit in the back of the head, behind the ear, and all this other shit. How his face was fucked up, because that's what you all was looking at. His face being fucked up the way it was caused you all to accuse Terrence Crawford of having loaded gloves, bro. You accuse him of having extra immortal strength. But yet his test, his drug test, because it was drug tested, it didn't say Terrence Crawford. It didn't say Errol Spence. Shout out to Carlos Rosado, man, with the $5 super chat. $5 super chat. $5 super chat in the building. Appreciate you, brother. One love to you. WCS salute. Just a little hot grease money. Appreciate you. Thanks for your support, brother. Yes, sir. Appreciate your support, man. Shout out to Shot News and Sauce Experience, aka Showtime Shot on deck in the building. Team Tucker official. Can't hide no more. Derrick James, the jig was up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's up, bro. Derrick can't hide with that deformed Eminem forehead. Man, god damn it. Vaseline is going out of business, god damn it. Derrick James is the type of dude that, you know, you walk up on a guy that shoe shine, right? And he said, hey, your shoes are done. Then you want me to goddamn, what about the head? What do you mean? I got a fresh container of Vaseline over there. I can shine it up with the towel if you want me to. Oh man, see, I was just about to compliment you on how good my shoes look. And then you want to crack jokes. I'm not cracking a joke. I'm serious. I can put a nice glow on that. You walk down the street, people get blinded. Now, what do you want to do? Well, how much more is it? Let me see. Turn around, turn to the left, turn to the right, bend over for a second. That's gonna be about $70, man. That's a lot of goddamn landscape to cover. That's a lot of cranial mask. It's a lot of cranial mask. God damn it, my shoulder's gonna get tight. My biceps gonna be goddamn full of lactic acid. Shit, boy. Damn. Then I gotta put the brace on it so your head won't be moving back and forth. Because you know when I'm shining back, man, come on, bro. That was the hardest line fight week. Javier, what's good? How about the thumbnail of Derrick James checking Bud glove? I don't really, you know, see the thumbnail of Derrick James checking his gloves, his dereliction of duty. Like when you know, like Crawford said, I trained too hard to think about losing. That's Crawford's words, right? So when your mindset is like that it's nothing this dude can do. I know what I trained. I know. See, Team Spence wasn't in that mindset to walk in the ring and say, I know I did everything possible to think about getting beat. I did everything. I'm not worried about this guy. I did everything possible to go in here and know I'm levels above this guy. That's the mentality I got from Crawford, you know, from his training. Seriously, that's what I got from him. He said, I trained too hard to think about losing. Come on, what type of mindset is that? That's the mindset that you going in there thinking you're unbeatable, god damn it. Not just with Spence in there, but goddamn in boxing, I'm unbeatable. When I'm in this type of shape, I did a pre-camp, I put in the work, I'm unbeatable, man. I'm unfucking beatable. I knew it was over from one student of the game to another when he said, you can't hide no more, Derrick. Man, what? Man, that was one of the most classic lines ever, man. He said, you can't hide no more. You can't hide. What? You know, and Derrick James got impulsive and shit and lost his. See, that's one thing. You know, he's very sensitive and he emote on demand with people. Man, come on, bro. And then you do too much shadow boxing. Like, leave that shit to the gym. Like, when you explaining something to your fighter, you actually think you actually think that you have to go through the motions to explain to a fighter that's contending on that level, you actually think you have to go through the punch combination set for them? They're trying to relax. They're not trying to see you in front of them throwing punches. Nigga, you ain't fighting. You are giving instructions to the fighter. So partially you are in the fight through your fighter. But if your fighter doesn't execute, both of you all are losing. If your fighter don't execute, both of you all are losing, dog. So you have to properly prepare him enough to be able to go in there and execute. Bo Mac up there giving instructions, man. Whenever you get time, throw the hook over the jab. He's giving him instructions. Instructions. Viable instructions, man. So both of them, both of them can win. Shout out to you, Irishman. What's good? I can't make this up, man. Spence KO Kell Brook because of the 8th round headbutt. Man, you know, look, he got the win. I can tell him that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 402. You know what I'm saying? Up here making sense. He said TKO, technical knockout, goes in the same column as a KO. That's absolutely FACTZZZZ. Facts. He's facts. You know what I'm saying? Facts in the chat. Facts in the chat, bro. You know what I'm saying? Facts in the chat. Real talk. He said, WCS, you are the truth. Keep bringing that smoke, bro. I appreciate you. You know, appreciate you pulling up, 402. You know what I'm saying? No doubt. Boxing fan talk on deck. Salute to you, brother. Andrew on deck. I see you. Salute to you. Sprint's head was bobbing like a Hollywood hooker when Bud was jabbing the hell out of it. It was, man. You know what I'm saying? The only thing he didn't, you know, the payment was different. There, Martinez, the payment was different now. You know what I'm saying? He was cashing checks on that jab, dog. In that scenario you was talking about, usually, you know, the service be rendered. But in this case, he was cashing checks off that jab. And you know, and then when they start to change and push narratives, right, they don't think of shit like this. They'll say the man was hit behind the head and all that shit, rabbit punching, all this other bullshit they was doing. But his face was fucked up. So his face getting fucked up now from getting punched in the back of the head. So it was bleeding on the brain from the rear part of the cranial cap to the front. So therefore his face started to swell. Not only that, they want to accuse the man of having loaded gloves and having contraband, right? So truth be told, I'm waiting for, you know, I haven't heard too much more of it, but I was waiting for medical documentation after him being seen at the doctor of those 2 dents in his head. Because truth be told, WCS is just too easy for me to pick this apart. Because if he had 2 dents in his skull, why was the man in Spain right after the fight? Why was he in Spain already? If the man had 2 dents in his head that he don't know how they're going to go away, not to mention the swelling that might going on behind those supposedly 2 dents. 2 dents put in there by a light 135-pound fighter now. 135-pound fighter, man, put 2 dents in a guy who say he walks around at 165, 168. Dude, I cannot make this up, but I can put it together. He's saying that 135-pound fighter Crawford put 2 dents in the head of a super middleweight. 135-pound fighter put 2 dents in the head, left 2 imprints in the head of a 168-pound fighter. How is that possible? I get it. But check this out. You see the thumbnail? You see all this? You know what I'm saying? You see all that? Do you see all that? And look, don't think that shit was done by mistake with Terrence Crawford over Errol Spence with Derrick James. Now that was there on purpose, y'all. That's why Derrick just looking at Bomac like that, because you know what, Bomac pretty much erased all that work that they were celebrating all the fucking time, hands in the air. You know what I'm saying? They was jumping up and down, tapping their heels together. He put in all them years, y'all. He put in all that work to sit up here and put Bud Crawford on his manifesto. He and the infamous meeting where he said, "You too light in the ass." You know what I'm saying? All that. Why not take the easy route and knock out Sean Porter? All that shit ruined him. All this shit, his fans ruined him, and he ruined himself. All that talk, all that freaking work, all that time, all the months and months waiting, all this shit of bragging to come up there on July 29th and get defeated. Not only did you lose, you didn't even get a chance to go to the final bell. So that's why I have to continue to remind the pro Spence fans, and respectfully, I have to continue to put this information out there and send the message that you're not going to out coach Bomac. As long as Derrick James is in the corner of Spence, I'm not worried. I put big money on the next fight too. I'm not worried at all. He would not out coach that team. He would not outthink Bud Crawford. He ain't, bro. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it, y'all. So you can talk about whatever you want. You continue to ignore the fact of how strong Crawford is. You can ignore the fact to try to overlook his athleticism, his skill set as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? The weaponry that he still possesses in his cachet that hasn't been revealed, right? And then ultimately his academics, his boxing academics, his boxing IQ, yo. How he sit up here and teaches his curriculum in front of millions, dog. The way he's going out here and putting on a masterclass clinic, showing his boxing IQ is levels above these competitors, making it look easy. He made Errol Spence look easy. Easy, yo. He beat him up and got him up out of there and sent him on his way. And then y'all come back to the YTC talking about, oh, he had loaded gloves. He's on juice. He's a dirty fighter. Spence didn't look right. He had drugs in the system. Trying to say his water was tainted. He lost his equilibrium. You know what I'm saying? He was hit behind the head. Everything except give Crawford his fucking credit and say he went in there and beat that dude. Like I always say, like I continue to say, long as Derrick James is in his corner, I ain't sweating it. I'm not sweating it at all. Because what we haven't seen enough of, we've seen glimpses. Glimpse. We've seen glimpse of when he pulled that dog out. We seen glimpse of when he actually started to let his hands go and take it back to the streets. We seen that in round 9. Round 9, y'all. We seen glimpse. We seen snapshots. We seen it with Igis Kavalakis. Snapshots. But who's gonna come up with a plan to put Bud in a predicament to pull that shit out even earlier, so we can really see what his testament is? What is Bud Crawford's testament? They say the testament of a man is not where he lies in what? Confident convenience. But in doing challenge and controversy. That's the testament of a man. Not where he lies doing confident convenience, but doing challenge and controversy. Is Errol Spence, do you believe you're going to be able to get back in the gym and come back in with Derrick James giving you advice? Do you feel confident? Do you feel confident being that you haven't been in Jermell Charlo's situation before? You know, Errol Spence haven't been in Jermell Charlo's situation. He was undefeated. This is the first time. So you know, you think you're gonna put your trust in the rematches because your stablemate Jermell Charlo came back and stopped Tony Harrison? Do you believe you put your trust in the rematch because he came back and stopped Brian Castano? If you do, you have to evaluate your sanity too, just like WCS is doing, Spence. You have to evaluate your sanity and say to yourself, well, neither one of those fighters was Terrence Crawford. So you have to say to yourself, well, do Derrick James have the mental, the intellectual capacity to outcoach Team Crawford? Does he have it? You have to make that evaluation, that Devil Dog. Shock Troop. You have to make that evaluation. If you make that evaluation and it doesn't bring you back the results that push you in a level of confidence that you can go back and take that walk down there to the ropes and run that fade again and have more success, then you need to get rid of them and find somebody else. I know people are saying, well, it won't make no sense for him. Listen, the man know how to fight already. Goddamn, look, Errol Spence at the end of the day is a fighter. He's a dog, man. Truth be told, Errol Spence is a dog. Regardless of what you say, he ain't no bitch ass nigga, for real. Errol Spence is a motherfucking dog. The ass whooping he was kept getting up, man, he's shown he's a dog. He is, bro. Point blank, period. He a dog. He didn't sit up there and put his hands up on the ropes with the high guard and just sit back and try to sucker, Crawford in to land the power punch. He kept on coming forward. You know what I'm saying? Spence is a fucking dog. That's why I want him to be better prepared coming to him for the rematch, because it's not going to be enough to go in there and break down and conquer what's in front of him in Terrence Crawford. He just don't have it, bro. He just don't have it, bro. Seriously, you don't have it. Not with Derrick James in your corner, man. I don't care how many people send him links. I don't care, bro. You know what I'm saying? He can get mad all he wants like he always do. You ain't him. Unless you rededicate yourself and look at film and really do what Team Crawford was doing way before this fight date, you don't have it, bro. You ain't him. You got to be able to outthink Crawford, and you got to be able to outthink Bomac. I'll take that back. You have to be able to think on their level. All right? Let's just get there first, because you're way below that right now. Let's work our way up the steps. Okay? Work your way up to where they at right now that you feel feasible to figure out how can you go out there with a game plan they wasn't expecting. The only thing I know that you was doing previously is talking about he ain't fought nobody. Errol Spence gonna get that pressure. Well, goddamn it, that pressure didn't burst anything except blood vessels around the eye area on the left and right hemisphere of Errol Spence Jr. On the left and right hemisphere, that's the only thing that was bursting from the contact Crawford gloves was landing on his face. That's it. That's it. So truth be told, you got to work your way up to their level. Fuck being above the level. You need to find out a way and what the game plan is going to be. You know what I'm saying? What the game plan is going to be. You're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to figure this shit out, bro. You're going to have to figure it out. Look at you, Spence. You're going to have to look over. If you was looking over there at Derrick James, you have to say to yourself, I never should have been in this position, man. You should have prepared me better. And then also Spence have to look at himself and say, I should have prepared myself better. I should have got in the gym and did more than 10 minutes. I should have did more than 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, Spence ain't no goddamn chump, man. There's a lot of shit I criticize him for as a boxer, but that dude ain't no chump, man. For real. He ain't no chump. But Crawford made him look like one, though. You know, he's talking about you ain't gonna be able to reel me in, you ain't gonna have no hook with Moby Dick. Shit. Shit, he got down. He caught you with a net, homie. He came in that bitch with a net. You're not trying to go back through this. They up there, look, they up there saying that you was being hit on the neck, behind the ear, your equilibrium was off. What about this punch? This punch looked like it landed pretty damn accurate, bro. So you have to say to yourself, Spence, real talk, I keep saying this, but you have to ask yourself, you have to have a one-on-one moment, brother. If you're not going to get rid of Derrick James, you have to convince him to bring other people on deck. Either to one, help you out doing the training so you're not just dealing with him, because seeing his freaking milk dud ass head all the time could be a reason why you're getting complacent. So bring some other people on deck, either to physically help train or that you respect enough to give advice. Right? Because listen, you are bigger than just boxing, Spence. They call themselves your fans, but they don't talk about you like that. They talk about Bud. So I can understand what you was dealing with. You felt left out and you felt alone. I said the same thing. I'm talking about Bud. They're talking about Bud too. It was just like one happy family with a couple of step cousins and step uncles and some of them adopted. You know what I'm saying? People was pretending like they wanted to be on your team, Spence, but they truly wasn't. So all I'm saying is you have to take that in consideration heading to the second fight. Because at the end of the day, you're bigger than boxing. You have to come in here and not crash and burn like you did, brother. Because you see the state that your fans are in right now. They walking around here like goddamn zombies. Like they strung out on Flocka. They strung out on that shit that let them stand up, and they'll be bent backwards and they still standing up. They frozen in time, brother. They don't know what to do. And I'm telling you, Spence, what you need to do. If you don't want to terminate, that relationship because you feel that you need a better insight moving forward, then you need to bring some other people in there and get some different eyes. And if Derrick James don't like it, then guess what? He's not there for your best interest there, Spence. He's there to see you go in there and wind up in a freaking hospital. That's all I can tell you, because you're talking to an apex predator like Crawford. They're gonna sit and they're gonna do. Look, he said he watched the fight twice already. So imagine what he ain't telling us. We don't know if that's accurate, okay? But just think about this. They have 9 rounds, and you didn't even pull out the rest of their training for, right? But you have 9 rounds of footage out there between Crawford has of you. And within that footage, they're going to be able to take out certain areas that he could have did better. That's dangerous, bro. That's fucking dangerous. That's all I'm saying. That's just dangerous, man. That's dangerous as fuck. Spence has more class and is way more braver than excuse making, temper tantrum throwing Spence says. I agree, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Spence ain't making no excuses, but these aerosexuals out here running through the streets, waving pom-poms, you know what I'm saying? With 4-inch heels on, talking about, he what happened was he had loaded gloves. He was on SNAC. Give me an S, and give me an N, and give me an A, and give me a C. What is it? SNAC. He's a cheater. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Let the shit ride, dog. Be a man about it. Stop being hoes about it, man. Give Crawford his credit and move the fuck on. Your fighter got beat. Using Spence's logic, but still hasn't fought anyone because he had an easier time with Spence than with Avanesium, aka Avocado. Yeah. Yeah, man. Like Avocado went out, in the 6th round, but people was up here once again bragging that Avanesium was giving Crawford good work. I'm saying, but Crawford loves carrying different type of luggage now. You gotta understand, it was a commercial back in the day when O.J. Simpson was running through the airport jumping over luggage. You know, Crawford carries his luggage sometime, and you know, you heard it here first. Crawford does carry his luggage now, if you know what I mean. Hey, Crawford has been known to carry some luggage now. Hey, he was at home in Omaha. He wasn't gonna go in there and finish that dude the second round, so he had to carry some luggage to the sixth. And then check that bitch in, didn't he? He had to check that luggage in, didn't he? That's the same thing he did with Spence, bro. He carried his luggage up to the goddamn ninth round. He checked his ass in, dog. Damn, man, that's fucked up, bro. But Crawford he does carry his luggage, though. I swear to God, he carry his luggage. For real. The only one I think he even carried his luggage with Porter. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? He carried his luggage with Porter. What Derrick James failed to realize, you see 3 trainers on Team Crawford, but there are more he would never hear about. Yeah. We can't. I don't know the entire aspect of how in depth that training process goes over there with his team. I don't know how long, right? But what is on the surface, right? The primary players, the shakers and movers that showed up July 29th, they was very efficacious to the results that was given. I loved it. I love the fact that there was organization over there in that corner. You know what I'm saying? Bud Crawford wasn't marked bruised. You know, his freaking ears wasn't bleeding. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't in a state of panic so early on in the contest. They was in total control. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the biggest stages you can be on, brightest lights you can be underneath. And Crawford went in there and shined in front of the cameras. You can ask for a better cameo appearance on a stage like that, especially when people saying your resume doesn't fit the bill. You haven't really fought top-notch opponents. You know what I'm saying? To be on the pound for pound list, but people still underestimate you. Not only underestimate you, they feel like they just don't give you respect. You're not educated. They consider you to be a bit dumb. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. You mesh all this together, bro. And you split the ropes and go in there and put on a performance, and you leave the Errol Spence community shook. You leave them shook, shaken, broken, fragmented, sick. They sick, dog. They really going through some mental health crisis right now. Mr. Potato Head said that he doesn't watch videos of his fighters' opponents. I bet he do now, goddammit. I bet he do now. Hey, Martinez, I dare him not to watch footage of that fight. You go right ahead. Because what Derrick James is proving, that when it comes time to step on stage with the big fights, he don't find it important enough to watch film. And look, what's even more fucked up, right? If this dude absolutely watch film and he's just up here just being disingenuous, it's even worse, because your performance value of this fighter, that's an elite pound for pound status fighter, right? Higher on the list than Jermell Charlo was, right? And you go out there and you perform like that. So if you indeed watch film, but you still go out there and perform like that, oh my God. That should be immediate termination. The only person that knows that is the man that was taking the punishment. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence was taking the punishment. He's going to have to freaking, lace up his trunks a little bit tighter and make a decision, bro. It's all coping mechanisms, because they got their foot in their mouth so far. If they pass gas, shoelaces be coming out. Man, god damn. Funky feet, dirty shoelaces, dog. You went there? Damn. Damn, you went there with the shoelaces and all that. Damn, that's just a little bit too much visual, bro. For real. Do you know that you're speaking in that manner, man? It's only gonna further affect and degrade the health of these aerosexuals there, Carlos. Come on, get a grip of yourself, dog. Come on, man. We the hottest chat in the game. Get a grip. Jesus Christ. Damn, man. Get a grip. Do you know the state of emergency that they're in? And you're gonna leave a comment like that, man. It's a time and place for that. Jesus Christ, bro. Damn. Shout out, Mr. Golden. What's good with it, OG? How you feeling, man? But y'all already know what it is, man. Remember the thumbnail, like I said. Derrick James looking at that, that's how he truly feels. Bo Mack will absolutely outcoach James easily. As long as Derrick James is in the corner of Errol Spence, I have no doubt that Team Crawford will win the rematch too. And it would be even more devastating than the last. Seriously. It would be even more devastating than the first match. The only person that's in control of that is if Crawford chooses to carry his luggage. If he's in there carrying luggage, then look, it might go to the 12th round and Crawford, go over there and give Spence a hug again and say, hey man, this is at 154. I'm not gonna put you on the same situation because Crawford pretty much proved that he can beat you up so bad that people show concern. And then he don't want that to affect Errol Spence's money. You know what I'm saying? I truly feel he wants Errol Spence to be able to have some more fights in his career to make that bag and do it in a healthy way. He can still get some pretty decent fights with 2 losses on his record. I mean, these 2 losses are going to be from the same fighter, so it's not going to be that bad. And nor do I ever see a trilogy. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing that I've ever thought about in my private time that this fight is going to be a trilogy. Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell, bro. There's no way in hell. And nobody, I don't care about who's on here. You ain't going to change it. You can say what you want to say, when you want to say it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever time you choose to say it. But you all are not mentioning Derrick James. You keeping this shit hush hush. Hush hush. You refuse to mention the primary problem. You want to talk about Crawford every day. Just think about what you're doing. You're talking about Crawford every day like you did before the fight. He go in there and get whooped, and you're still talking about Crawford. Now, who has mental health issues? Y'all do. Y'all are not even talking about and trying to see how, what's the state that Spence is in. You know what I'm saying? What he did well in the fight. What he need to work on. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all just want to talk about shit to keep on talking about Bud, dog. It's hilarious to me, real talk, because I'm talking about Crawford too. and y'all up here not even giving a damn about Spence, bro. And I don't believe in this curse. Something's cursed and all that. I don't believe in that. All I know, like I told you all before, and I repeat, look at the thumbnail, because that's the way Derrick James really feel. He really feel that way. You know what I'm saying? He really feel he got out coached. Nobody's thinking about no Anthony Joshua because you got a knockout loss, man. Get out of here. Joshua's getting beat up just like Spence, but nobody's talking about Robert Helenius gloves. Joshua had 2 eyes that was swollen up. Nobody's talking about the track record. Come on, man. This is a reoccurring thing, bro. Nobody's talking about Robert Helenius gloves being knocked out because he got stopped. Loaded because he got stopped. But Joshua's face was swelled up. That's why he up there getting out the ring, walking around the damn arena and all that other book. Man, get out of here. Too much theatrics going on over there, bro. From the Canvas University. But man, y'all hold it down. Appreciate everyone for pulling up. Shout out to you. I see your Haynes Legacy in the building. Y'all continue to hold it down, support the channel. Once again, shout out and thanks for the donation. You know what I'm saying? From Carlos Rosado, $5 in the building. Anybody else choose to donate, it's always welcome. Until next time, man, y'all hold it down. Peace, and we'll do it again.
Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars. Should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.